Hello, this is JC with Chapter 6 of my book I entitled Todd. Todd and Les exchanged phone numbers and said their goodbyes and went their separate ways. Todd had a nice hug and a kiss before they parted. Les made sure of that. As Todd walked home, his mind raced a million miles an hour, reliving each word spoken, each incident, and each thought he had experienced. He was pleased with himself, thinking he had done well for someone so young and inexperienced. Now he had to decide how he would tell his parents about Leslie. He was sure his mother, although being somewhat cautious, would also be happy about Todd having a new friend. He walked up to the door to his house and, opening it, he stepped inside. He called out, "Mom, I'm home." There was no answer. He called again, and still there was no answer. A little chill began to creep over him. Something was wrong here. Very wrong. He opened the door to the garage and found it empty. The car was gone. Now he was really worried. Why had he not already felt something was wrong within himself? This was unusual. He walked to the desk in his father's den. Maybe Dad had left a note. No, not Dad, maybe Mom. He looked at the desk. He saw a small, dark spot in front of the chair. As he got closer to the desk, the spot got bigger and redder. He stopped in his tracks. He couldn't get any closer. A small panic ran through him. His heartbeat doubled and he felt a bit nauseous. "I don't want to know what happened here," Todd told himself. "Of course you do," his brain shouted. "Get moving." Todd looked behind the desk and saw a large stain. He knew it was blood, his father's blood. He turned to walk back into the living room just as the phone rang. He walked away from the ringing telephone on his dad's desk and rushed and grabbed the wireless phone in the living room. "Hello?" "Todd, this is Mom. It's about your father. He shot himself, and he's barely alive. I drove him here to the hospital in the car. He couldn't make it inside, so two orderlies put him on a gurney and rolled him in. He passed out almost as soon as he got inside. He said to have you come to the hospital." "I will, Mom. I'll call a cab and be right there." And he hung up the phone and picked it back up and dialed a taxi service. He asked for a taxi to pick him up. "Please hurry, I have to go to the hospital." He gave his address and hung up. Todd went to his bedroom to change shirts. He could smell himself in this one. He picked out a medium dark blue, solid colored shirt and went to the front door and waited. He checked to be sure he had his wallet with identification, a couple of blank checks, and his credit cards. As an afterthought, he got his parents' health insurance policy papers, folded them neatly, and put them in the pocket of his jacket. The taxi made good time to the hospital, and within a few minutes, Todd walked inside the emergency room. His mother was sitting on a chair, she was the only one in the room. She looked up when Todd came in, but she didn't stand up. Todd walked to her side and sat down. He reached over and gave her a small hug. He asked, "How's Dad?" "Not good. He shot himself. They almost missed. The doctor says he can't tell if Bobby will live or not." Just then the doctor walked into the room. Todd went to him and asked about his father. The doctor said he isn't doing very well. He doesn't know why he is still alive. Todd said, "I need to see him." The doctor hesitated, saying, "He may not be able to talk to you." Todd turned and began walking back from where the doctor came. "It can't do any harm." The doctor stepped out ahead of Todd then and pointed to a door on the right of the corridor. Todd went into the room and saw his father lying on a bed. He had several tubes attached to his arms and a pump of some kind attached somewhere beneath the covers, out of sight. Todd went to the side of the bed with fewer tubes and reached out and took his father's hand. "Dad, are you in here somewhere?" he asked. He felt his father's hand tighten into somewhat of a grip. His father's eyes opened as well as they could. There was a bandage around his head and forehead that almost covered one of his eyes. He mumbled for Todd to lean closer. Todd leaned down and kissed his father's cheek. "Is this close enough?" he asked. His father's eyes brightened a bit, recognizing a very rare attempt at levity from his son. "I'm sorry, son, for what I've done to you and your mother." His voice was very weak. I always loved my little girl more than anything in the world. And I love you, my little baby boy. As soon as the gun went off, I was sorry for what I was doing, but it was too late. Now I want you to promise me that you will take care of your mother. Try to make it easier for her. Take care of my business and never let anything overpower you like I let it do to me this time. Now, Theodore, give me a hug and a kiss and tell me that you forgive me and you love me. Todd's eyes filled with tears. He felt a catch in his stomach, a sob, something he had never felt before. At this instant, Todd understood exactly what his father had been feeling. He leaned over his father and, taking him in his arms, said, I love you, Dad, and I forgive you. And I know Mom does. We knew how you felt. Theodore, give my sweet Betsy Lee a hug and a kiss for me and tell her that I love her. Always will. Then his body stiffened for just an instant and went limp. And Robert Roy Bobby Daniels died in the arms of his son, Theodore Orwell Todd Daniels. And this is the end of chapter 6. Thank you very much.